plan, and then you're texting your clients, checking in on them, and you can literally see if they're losing weight or gaining weight. I mean, you can really watch them, which maybe in the case of weight loss is a good thing.
Yeah, we need that data every single day, so we're not working in the dark. And it's way more than the old texting platform. It's all automatic now. So the patient actually gets shipped a scale, a unit that measures all these touch points. And all they really have to do is stand on the scale, and it interfaces with the app, and all that stuff gets downloaded to us immediately. The patient doesn't have to touch a thing. So we can watch them in real time every single day. We know if they're making progress, we know if they're stuck, and we can pitch in real time instead of waiting for them to come in for another visit. It's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I've seen the app, and the app doesn't lie as far as it doesn't just tell you your regular weight. I mean, there's a lot of information that's going back and forth, both for the user and for you to see, which might help with accountability.
Yeah, the accountability is super important. The other thing is we know that they're not just losing or gaining weight. We know all their other parameters too. So we want to make sure that they're not just dropping net pounds, but they're losing fat and they're retaining lean tissue. And the technology tells us all that every day.
So this has been a tough time for people to stay disciplined, but you say quarantine is actually a perfect time to optimize your weight. Why?
I did. I might not get agreement from everybody, but it really depends upon your attitude and your perspective. And you can fall into one of two camps. You can either be sitting there worrying and wringing your hands about what's going to happen, or you can take this downtime and use it to create something positive in your life. And we have just a ton of patients who have probably less distractions than before, maybe a little more worry, but less distractions. And they're using this time to optimize their health and lose weight and do things that might not have been so easy when they were busy with their work days and their kids and their school, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I mean, that is even for those who are considered essential workers, like those of us who are still coming to work, there usually is still a little more space in your life without the social things. You don't have to worry about going to somebody's party and eating bad food. So it could be a good time to come out of something good. And I know summer is coming. Give us a little bit of an idea, if people haven't been familiar with you, what your eating plan, what the plan consists of.
Yeah, it's really simpler than they would think. We divide their basic categories into proteins, vegetables, and fruits. So they're going to be eating all real wholesome food that they buy at the grocery store. They can get at a restaurant when the restaurants are all open. But they're not getting any packaged or processed foods that they have to buy. It's all real shopping and real food. As long as you make good choices in each of those categories, there's a ton of things that they can pick from, and a few things that we want them to stay away from. There's close to 300 recipes that we provide. So people are really satisfied and they have variety on the diet. They don't go hungry and they find it pretty easy to stick to long term.
You have something called a CFL, Biological Fasting 5-Day Plan. What's that?
Yeah, that's brand new. When we've had people that have hit plateaus or sticking points, there have been some modified fasting routines that we've used to help break through and continue down towards goal. We've created our own plan that's based on some research done out at USC Department of Gerontology that actually lets them get all the benefits of a 5-day fast, but yet eat during the whole process. So they're eating the right foods, they're following it to the letter. Their caloric intake is modified a bit, but they're not hungry. And the average patient that does this, we've seen, loses anywhere between 3 and 11 pounds in 5 days.
Wow. Can you shed a little light on what you would do for those 5 days? You said you get to eat a little. Like, what can you eat?
Yeah, sure. You get. I'm not going to give you the secret sauce.
No, not the secret sauce, but just enough so people know if they could do it.
Oh, you can do it. You get like a bar for breakfast. You get a full lunch, which is either a pasta or a noodle-based meal with nice things thrown in. There's a dessert on some days. There's a soup on every day, different kinds of soup for different things. It actually takes us about the second day to get the patient into ketosis where they're really burning fat, and then they're off and running. But it's super easy to stick to for 5 days. And we use it not as a staple, but as a routine to break through points or to get quick weight loss to happen. But we don't recommend that patients do it more frequently than once a month or so.
A lot of people complain that as they get older, they have a really tough time losing weight, that what worked for them before doesn't work anymore. Why is that?
Well, it's pretty simple if you look into the physiology. It's not the number of age, it's how your body functions as you age a bit. And your metabolism takes the first hit and it doesn't work as efficiently as it used to. But if you follow certain guidelines and stay healthy and eat healthy and do things that we ask, you can actually take a metabolism that's not functioning so well and get it to function much, much better. So most patients will find it after that conversion process much easier to burn fat and to retain muscle tissue, lose net weight, get a better body composition, and stay healthy. And actually, if patients are on medications for diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol, we see those things get reduced and eliminated every day with our program.
Yeah, and you're having the guidance of you as a doctor and your team. So sometimes this could be really medically necessary for people to lose weight. Do you ever work, can people submit to their FSA plans or insurance for these kinds of weight loss?
Yeah, that's a great question. Insurance is iffy. You never know which plan or which carrier they're going to have, but we have a lot of patients that do submit and get reimbursed. FSAs, HSAs, 100% of the time, never been denied a dime. So yeah, those are good tools for patients that have the funds available. You might as well use them for something that's going to benefit you.
So give us an idea. I know people need motivation. If you're watching this feed and you want to get started, what's the first step and how much weight can you lose in, say, the first month?
Really simple. It's a modular system. So each module is 6 weeks and depends on how much weight you need to lose. That dictates how many modules you need to go through. So the first module, the average patient that's a male loses 30 pounds in 6 weeks. The average female loses about 20 to 25. And if you only need to lose that much weight, then you do that one module and you're done. If you need to lose more weight, then you progress into successive modules, which are 6 weeks. Again, they're a little bit different. They change as they go. But the important thing for us really is to get the patient to get to their goal weight, but not just get there and vary it back. So we want to stick with the long term to make sure that once we get them to goal weight, they're staying there. And we create, with the electronics again, a very tight range for them to stay within, like 3 pounds either way. And if they fall out of that range on the maintenance side of the question, we're going to get notified right away. We're going to pitch in, we're going to figure out what happens, and we're going to get them right back into that range. So our goal and our passion is to keep patients there for life.
And I know from interviewing you and some of your patients that, there have been people who really thought that they could never really be at the right weight, that they had gained a ton of weight, nothing had worked. You've had some success stories of people who really thought they couldn't do this.
That's a good percentage of patients that walk in our door or now see us on our screen, I guess you could say. So yeah, mostly every patient that we have seen has tried multiple things, and a good portion of them have either failed or succeeded but not sustained long term. So we want people to know that this is something that's completely different. We're not going to get you to your goal weight and let you go. We're in it for the long haul. You're accountable to us. We're accountable to you. So it's a team effort, and we're all in this and on the same page to get the results that are going to stick.
And right now, people are probably thinking, oh, well, it's quarantine. I can't do anything. If you're just joining the Facebook Live feed, you actually have an opposite opinion. It's a good time to focus on your health, to do something. You've got some extra time. And this can be done 100% remotely. So if someone was interested, would they start out with a virtual consultation?
Yeah, exactly. So what they'll do is they'll book an appointment for initial consultation. They'll go online, they'll watch about a 30-minute introductory video that we send them. They fill out a health assessment form. And by the time we have that initial consultation, which is just like you and I are doing it face-to-face video, I'll have gone through all that data, and we'll take about 20 or 30 minutes and go through their personal situation and build a program out for them. From that point on, everything that they need is shipped to them, and all of the data transfer is done via electronics and video conference and phone. So a patient never has to set foot in the office throughout the whole process, and they don't miss a beat.
Can you eat out on your program?
As soon as the restaurants open.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they opened for outdoor dining last night, but can
that's
you?
really important.
Yeah.
No, that's a great question. We don't want them to sacrifice social situations and things in their daily life. So patients that go to, weddings, events, they want to go out to dinner with friends, they can eat normally like human beings do, as long as they do things in moderation. And if you sit down to a table, you tell your server how you want your food prepared, make the right choices, they will do it for you. You can stick to plan 100% inside or out, it doesn't matter. And we have a lot of people that travel all the time too, air and car. And as long as they know the guidelines and stick to them, they'll do as well as a stay-at-home mom will.
Okay. Yeah. So I know you would say there's no excuses. There's something for everyone. Why do you do the DNA testing?
We do the DNA testing because every patient is completely different, and we get a lot of information out of that that's going to give us specific guidelines on how to treat a patient. So the results of that test come back at about week 6. We use that to build out a custom exercise program for each and every patient and a custom nutritional supplement program for every patient, and further guide them as far as food choices. So if you're patient A over here, you may not need the same type of nutrition, micronutrients as patient B over here. So we don't know that until we look at the metabolic and genetic pathways and figure out exactly what works for you. So if you're taking, let's say, a vitamin B12 off the shelf that's not exactly the right kind, your cells aren't making use of it and you're wasting your money. So we want to make sure that everybody's 100% nutritionally covered and that they're doing the right mix of cardio and resistance, intensity level, frequency, duration, everything that's pertinent to them that might not work for this other patient.
So the DNA testing will actually say what type of exercise, like perhaps I really don't like running. It might just be in my DNA that I'm not supposed to run.
Well, it won't go as far as running, but it will tell you how much cardio you should do in relation to resistance. And it will tell you how intense you need to go. If you do better at a low, brisk walk or a jog, while somebody else might do better going flat out, you might do better doing heavy weights and more sets than somebody just doing light weights and a few sets. So those are all the differences that make a difference in the outcome for each patient. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, fascinating, because normally we just think it's all about food. And what you're finding with your technology and the way you dig in a little deeper is that it's a lot more than just calories in and calories out.
That is old school science. Yes. So, you can't just measure calories in and calories burned and expect to lose weight. Food is information, and your body knows what's coming in and it reacts to it. So, the mix of foods that each patient takes in, not just calories, but types of foods, healthy fats, low glycemic carbs, healthy proteins, those are all going to dictate progress in weight loss much more than caloric intake will. Now, I'm not going to say that you can eat perfect foods in large volumes and lose weight, but that's much more important than watching and counting your calories. So that it also makes it a very simple system to do because there's not a lot of counting and micromanaging to do.
Okay. And the bottom line is, you have said this on Better Connecticut before, that, if people could do it on their own, they probably would have. You're sort of taking the thinking out of it. You're going to, maybe it's easier to stay to the diet if you know that someone has really specifically made it for you and that you're going to get results.
Exactly. And that same group of people is going to be there for you day after day. So if you have questions or if you have concerns or if you don't make the progress you expect for a couple days, you're not in this alone. And that's why I say that. If people could have done this alone, they wouldn't be at our door. It's a big part of the weight loss process to have that support and camaraderie and somebody following you day after day. And I have to admit, another part of that is, aside from the clinical staff that watches them, we have a beautiful Facebook group that's private, and we have thousands of members in there that are supporting each other every single day with inspiration and recipes. And I'm on there all day answering clinical questions. So you need that kind of group setting for people to lose weight and keep it off and have the go to go stick with it.
Sure, absolutely. A lot of research saying we need that support, especially on those days. Everyone's going to have those days where they're tired and they just don't feel like it, and they maybe want some food for comfort. So that could be a resource to go to. Let me ask you another question. As women get older, especially around menopause, they'll sometimes think that they just really can't lose weight, or gaining weight is just part of biology. Is that true or not true?
It's true if you do nothing about it. if you take the bull by the horns and you make hormonal changes, you're going to find it much easier to maintain weight and actually to lose weight. So I'll tell you, we have a substantial percentage of our patient population that are females that are postmenopausal. And are they going to lose weight as fast as a 22-year-old 300-pound guy? No, they're not. But they're going to lose weight at a very good clip, and they're going to be surprised at how much they lose. And the question I always get from that clientele group, am I going to have saggy skin when I'm done? Because they're worried about the aesthetics. And we've treated now over 12,000 patients with this program. I've never had a single patient that had to get anything surgical done to remove skin, because we do it at a pace that the skin can accommodate to, and we build muscle back that's underlying the tissue that fills in those gaps. So it's a great program for women in that age group too, and just as effective as for anybody else. Might take just a little bit longer, but we get there.
So is it true that men in general, whatever age, lose weight a little faster than women?
You gonna hold that against me?
I was hoping you'd say, no, that's not true, but I guess it probably is a little true. Anyone who's had to go on a diet with their husband realizes that they lose weight easier, it seems.
Statistically, guys lose about 30 in the first 6 weeks. Gals lose about 20 to 25. That's all I'm saying.
But we're smaller to begin with, so maybe.
Right. Percentage-wise, it's about the same.
So for those who are thinking that this is maybe you're thinking about this, should I do this? Can they find out more information before they make a decision?
We want them to. Actually, I won't take on a patient that is not 100% committed to the process. So we really encourage patients to go on the website, compassfatloss.com. There's a wealth of video information and text information there that they can learn a ton about the program before they ever come in, or before they ever spend a dime, or before they ever talk to me. So I want an educated person at my door so we can take the process going forward. So we give them a whole bunch of education before they ever get to that point.
And we just put that up on our screen, compassfatloss.com. So for everyone out there who's thinking, I want to have something good to come out of quarantine, maybe this is the time. You're saying it's the time, perfect time to lose some weight. So for those who are interested, they can reach you on the website and schedule a virtual appointment.
Sure. It's a passion for all of us here, so we welcome their interest.
Thank you, Dr. Kusher. Stay safe and be well, and thanks for sharing some information with us today.
You too, sweetheart. Take care and be safe.
Bye.